You got it. Okay. I'm going to go over a couple of things. I'm trying to keep up with some of the stuff in the book and keep you up on things, just do a lot of little things. For some reason, the lecture, the last one didn't tape, but I did a couple days when we went over the thing. So I'm going to redo a couple little things that we have in there. And do me a favor, somebody catch this thing over here, move it to computer for me, will you? Thank you. What? Everybody having a good week?
No.
No? Why is that? Okay, I had a rough night last night.
I thought I got it on AP, yeah.
I'm gonna need you, scroll down.
Whoa.
All right. Yeah, 20 honestly, I'd rather have it.
Mass Work.
Oh, that's true. Those are. Whoa. Whoa.
Alright. I'll talk to them, this is gonna get us kind of into a little bit of discussion, right? Ethics and morality. What's morality? What's ethics? You got a device, you can search it real quick, but tell me what morality is and ethics. Give me a definition of both of them. So pull one of your little things out, connect up with the world, tell me what the difference is. You can do it. Ethics and morality. What's ethics and what's morality? There's a difference between them.
Ethics is the moral principle that governs a person's or group's behavior.
Okay, so ethics are kind of principles what you said are based on morality, right? So what's morality? Come on, guys, we're all supposed to be hyper-connected here.
We are.
You're connected through him? You have him do all your research? Okay.
Morality is the principles concerning the distinction between right and wrong,
Okay,
good and bad.
so morality is right, wrong. Would you agree that ethics is how we apply that? Okay. When I was in high school, girls had to wear dresses. We had to wear shirts and ties. And then the year after we graduated, they started easing up on it. Girls could start wearing pants and things like that. So things change over the years, right? You've seen lots of changes take place. But the thing is the one thing that generally does not change is morality. What is right, what is wrong? Would you all agree that right or wrong is always right or wrong? Let's take something like stealing. What is stealing? You steal something. Hmm? Well, yeah, but what is it? Give me a definition of stealing.
Taking something.
That's not your someone.
Taking somebody else's property. Without what? Without their permission, right? How many, I will lay you odds that 96% of you steal on a regular basis.
Yep.
What's the number one thing that y'all steal?
Information.
Huh? Phones. I know, but how many of you stole?
I don't pay phones. I got my phone, I'm good.
Okay. So but when I'm saying 96% of y'all, probably closer to 100% of y'all, steal on a regular basis. Take something that's not yours without the owner's permission. And the number one thing that is stolen is what?
Money.
No. If I'm saying basically all of y'all are doing this, all of you are stealing, what are y'all stealing?
Money?
No,
Morality.
money.
Give us the second.
Well, actually turns into money. You're doing
Morality.
that. What's the thing called?
Music. No way.
How many of y'all illegally download or download songs that have been downloaded illegally and put them on your phone?
Bruh.
And right now, it's roughly about 96% of people that have smartphones. Now, the only reason I probably have not done it is because I don't know how to do it. Which is not, a good reason to say, well, gee, I'm more moral than you, but, it's interesting. Why do y'all do it? Why, y'all know it's wrong. College, I teach at. A couple of my kids got picked up for illegally downloading movies and taken to court. And, their defense was, well, somebody else did it, and I was just looking at what they did. So we're talking about morality and ethics here. Where does, right and wrong come in? How many of y'all refuse to illegally download music? Anybody? And you've paid for every song you have on your phone. Yeah, but see, that's what I get now. I get from this, I would never steal except for that. What is the difference? Sometimes I get the thing of, I only stole something that was worth 99 cents. What's the difference if we do the decimal point, make it $99? Do the decimal point, make it $900,000. And move it one more time, make it $9 million. Are each one of those stealing? Yeah. So it doesn't really make a difference if it's 99 cents or $9 million, right? Stealing. And you all agree that basically everybody does it, correct? Can you give me any just reason why it's acceptable? Anybody? Usually I get all sorts of arguments and everything else. Mr. Wayne, that's time and times, everyone does it. It's still wrong though, right? It's amazing to me, yes.
Who does it affect when you download music?
Who does it affect when you download music illegally? It affects the artist that made it.
That person.
Let me ask you a question. Assuming in a few years you go get all your education stuff, you want to get a job, right? You're going to get a job? And you expect the person to pay you, is that correct? What happens if they just came up one day and says, you know what? I know you worked for me for the last 2 weeks, but my wife banged up my car, got to take it into the shop, and the amount of damage is exactly what I was going to pay you last month. So I decided I'm going to fix the car first. So, sorry, sucks to be you. No paycheck this month. Would you like that? Okay. Same thing, what if you're just working part-time, it's just a few hours? Or what if it's an artist that's come up with this wonderful song that everybody likes and listening to, and shouldn't they be compensated for what they do?
Don't they get the money anyways?
Huh?
When they get money anyways?
Where would they get it from?
That-
If you and everybody else steals it. So I'm back to your boss again and says, well, you know what? The insurance company paid for half of it, so I'm going to take half your paycheck. So you'll still get some money, but not as much as you could. And you're asking, I mean, these are all the questions everybody else asks. These are good questions. Okay? I'm just trying to get you to take a look at this stuff in a little bit different light. Is stealing stealing? Is stealing unmoral, immoral? If it is in the big things, is it in the small things too? Okay, what about this guy that just the video was released here the other day of him punching his wife out in the elevator? Yeah. Anybody keeping up with that? And all the moral outrage on doing this stuff? But the first time, if I remember right, wasn't he seen dragging his wife out of the elevator? And they didn't really do anything with that, but now that they got the video of him punching her, they did something with that. I mean, everybody knew what happened in the elevator. But everybody decided to wait and delay any action because why? Was a football player and they needed him in the game, and they always kind of seem to come up with some different set of rules. You know, you all have to determine, it's going to be your society's got to figure all this stuff out, especially in the electronic area. What's moral? What's legal? What's right? What's wrong? Been a lot of insider trading situations these days where people knew that stock values were going to go up or go down, and they took advantage of it and made millions of dollars. Is that right for them to do that at somebody else's cost? Anybody ever heard of the company called Enron? Enron was basically selling electricity, but they didn't make it, but they just kind of sold electricity around the United States. The company was huge. And I mean, we're talking one of the largest companies around. The chairman of the board's down there meeting with his employees, says, guys, why don't you take all the money you're putting in your 401k, all your retirement money, everything that you got in there, and I want you to buy our stock. Because our stock is appreciating at 1,000%. You buy our stock, you're going to be wealthy. So take all your money that you got, buy our stock. And the stock price continued to go up. Do you know what he was doing at the exact same time? He was telling all these employees, thousands of employees, to buy their stock. He was selling his stock as the price went up. And all of a sudden they found out one day that, oh, you know what? All these numbers that they've been putting out there as far as sales and things like that were all funny numbers. The place got shut down, and guess what the stock was worth? Zero. But he made hundreds of millions of dollars from selling his shares of stock. So, you know, was that wrong? And then these people that had been working there and trusted him, they all of a sudden without a job. No health insurance. No retirement money. These people were broke. And many of them were living paycheck to paycheck, which means they couldn't make their mortgage payment the next month. Is that wrong? Was it wrong in the big things? Why is it wrong in the small things? Guys, this is where y'all need to take a look at it. Stealing is stealing. If you want to call yourself a good and moral, ethical person, you do it in the small things too. I don't expect anybody to all of a sudden just wake up and say, oh, I'm not going to do it anymore, but it would be nice. I've had a couple kids that have done it. Says, you know what, that's right, I'm going to start paying for music that I download. I'm not going to take it illegally. And that comes under the part here of intellectual property. 3 basics on intellectual property. patents, trademarks, copyright. What's a patent?
It's when it's something on like a certain product, so no one else can make it.
Right, so it's something that you have a unique design or process of on something tangible. You know, one of the interesting things was that Amazon.com got a patent for one-click shopping. And there's so much controversy over that because basically one-click shopping, no one's allowed to do it. And Amazon has been suing companies that even try to come close to it, saying that's an infringement on our patent. Saying the patent was way too broad and gave Amazon an unfair advantage in the workplace. Remember, my daughter works for Amazon, but it's time, you know, they're saying that wasn't fair, that somebody in the patent office just went a little bit too far on issuing that patent. But this gives somebody that comes up with something unique protection for that. Now, it's a trademark. What's come as a trademark? I'll see them all the time. Okay. Sometimes we'll have a little T or R. Registered trademark. And to be registered, to be a trademark, you have to file with the patent office, trademark office for this. But think about, you know, if I do, what's that? McDonald's. Nike. How about Moss Moore?
It's Liv Moss, and it's Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. There you go. And so these are trademarks that apply to companies for unique symbols or properties. And, companies will spend millions of dollars defending it. Who owns Jeep?
GM.
Chrysler.
Chrysler owns Jeep. In Wyoming, there was a bar up in the northern part of Wyoming there by Yellowstone Park called Jeep's Bar. That guy got sued by Chrysler for using the name Jeep in his bar. The guy's name was Jeep. His mom had named him, but the company spent quite a bit of money. Jeep spent quite a bit of money before they realized they were kind of going up the wrong tree here. And the guy, it was copyright infringement. You see a lot of places that will infringe on people's copyrights, and they are very protective of trademarks, very protective of those trademarks. Coca-Cola would send teams of attorneys out around the world, go into a restaurant and order a Coke. If they were given a Pepsi, they would end up getting a very terse letter from the people saying this is trademark infringement. And so companies spend millions of dollars to protect those trademarks. Because what happens is, if you lose that trademark or it becomes generic in society, you've lost quite some marketing opportunities. What is acetylsalic acid known as? Company came up and trademarked the name for acetylsalic acid. Every one of you have heard it. We use it generically now because they lost their trademark on it.
Vitamin C.
No. Close. Acetylsalic acid. German company came up with it. What was the name? Product that Bayer came up with.
Oh, is it ice cream?
Ice cream? No. That's Breyers.
Oh man, close enough.
No, it's not close enough. Acetylsalic acid, Bayer.
Oh man, they have everything in it.
Aspirin. Aspirin is now a generic name for acetylsalic acid. And they lost it. Have you ever, let's take a close competitor. My towel. Anytime you hear this on radio or TV, what is the one word that always follows it?
Relief?
No. Tylenol brand. Here's another one that almost lost it. When you hear them on TV, they'll call it this. Jell-O brand gelatin, because Jell-O almost lost their trademark on it because everything was being called Jell. Jell is just a squiggly little stuff that's there, but they almost lost it. Tang back in the 70s. Tang was, a popular thing for a powdered juice drink. And so you see this happening time and time again. Kleenex brand. How many of y'all asked for a Kleenex or asked for a tissue? In fact, they've got more people now asking for tissues. But you look at some of these words that become part of the vocabulary. 30, 40 years ago, if you wanted a copy, you said, I want a Xerox. Xerox was the only company that made copiers. It was just a new infant business. So it's, give me a Xerox of this. Give me a Xerox of this. Kind of interesting is Xerox, when they first went to business, I think they were selling toothpaste. And they changed. So, trademarks become very, very important. What's a copyright? It's a copyright. These were vocab words, weren't they? Copyright. It's anything dealing with writing, music, works from an author. And copyright law changed. Now things are immediately copyrighted as soon as you write them. As soon as you put them out, you used to have to kind of prove that you filed for a copyright on it. You don't have to do that anymore. And copyrights last for, I think, basically it's the lifetime of the author, plus so many years. And but it's just trying to protect people's intellectual property. You ask the question, okay, well, it's only a few cents that somebody would lose from that music that I illegally downloaded, but it's not your money to play with, it's their money. So do you have a right, a moral right, a legal right to steal somebody else's work? And when you look at it, 96% roughly of all music is illegally downloaded. And it's passed on and passed on and passed on, and nobody gives it a second thought. I want y'all to give it a second thought. Because when you steal something, generally you have a conscious decision that you make, I'm going to steal this. And so somebody, if you're stealing music from somebody, do you have the right to come back and say, well, you stole my phone? One of the most interesting court cases I saw was two cousins. One was suing the other one because when he was arrested and put in jail, he gave his cousin his iPhone, his iPad, and his what's the other one? iPad, iPhone. iPod. Yeah. And so gave them to him. Well, the cousin took them and pawned them. And so the other cousin, when he gets out of prison, sues the other cousin. And the judge just happened to ask, well, where did you get these things from? The initial cousin that had them. Well, I stole them. I mean, you stole them, and now you're suing your cousin for stealing from you? Yeah, because he stole them from me. I had a right to steal them because the person really had too much money. So it's kind of interesting is how people will, think it's okay for them to steal, but it's not okay for people to steal from them. So somewhere along this line, the cycle's got to be broken. Okay, guys? Do that. All right, so covered patent, trademarks, copyrights, talked a little bit about ethics, morality. Are you going to run an ethical business? If you want some extra credit, take a look at Google's ethics policy. They have 10 statements that they make. It's fascinating. You want to take a look at another fascinating one? Take a look at Enron's ethics statement. They did everything they said they wouldn't do and that they considered to be abhorrent and stole billions of dollars. It's amazing how companies do those things. Any questions, comments? Thanks, guys, and we'll have this up on YouTube here in a day or so.